Our main speaker, our guest of honor, is Marjorie Knight, and I'll just read her bio for you as well. So Marjorie has a lot of lived experience when it comes to the challenges and consequences of poverty. She has struggled as a member of the working poor, experiencing precarious work while raising a family. She is passionate about advocating for those who struggle due to inadequate income and services. She's very involved in the Plan to End Chronic Homelessness as a co-creator and a member of the coordination team. In 2018, Marjorie took her first step into politics, remains active in the riding of Cambridge for the NDP. She continues to be engaged in her community, a founding member of the Rhythm and Blues Cambridge, working with community partners to create opportunities for our BIR communities. Marjorie might also be found working as a community faculty with the Lyle Holman School of Social Work at the Wilfrid Laurier University, where she engages with the upcoming social workers in our community. She was given the 2024 Women of Distinction Award by the YWCA Cambridge and the Rogers Oktoberfest 2025 Women of the Year Award in recognition of her work in the community. Marjorie currently serves on the board of the Cambridge Shelter Corp, Thrive HIV, OHTJCB, Rhythm and Blues Cambridge, and the Ontario NDP. She's presently employed as a family outreach worker with the House of Friendship in Cambridge. And with that, pause please, and thank you. So we'll have a presentation from Marjorie, and we'll have an open Q&A after she's done, and as well as an open networking round after that. All yours.
Thank you. See, my hair is longer now. Not for long. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for turning out. It has been a very interesting journey for me. Yes, I have a lot of experience with living precariously, working precariously, and struggling to get ahead. It is a difficult thing to be Black. It's a difficult thing to be Black and female. It's a difficult thing to be Black female raising Black female children. How do you set an example? How do you move ahead? How do you fulfill your destiny using everything that you have, all your skills, your qualifications, when no one will give you a chance to? So it was into this kind of thing that I began, and why I was literally hunted to enter politics. I had zero intention of being in politics. What the heck, politics? What am I going to do with politics? What has politics done for me? Nothing. I'm too busy working hard to go into politics. And there was this couple. I can't put it any other way other than they pursued me. It got to the point where, you kind of look around the corner to see if they're there. Well, if they're not there, I can come out and talk to people, and they'll say, hey, have you thought again about running? It's like, no, I have not. But in the end, I spoke to a lot of people, to a lot of mentors. I spoke to my family members. I spoke to my cousin. My cousin is a politician in Jamaica. And we had many conversations. A lot of conversations about what I would like to see, about what I believed in, what my values were they reflected in the party that is inviting me to run? Is this something that I could actually do, and what would it mean for me? And so over the years, I have learned a few lessons. It is necessary for us to be involved. It is necessary for us to be represented. It is necessary for our children to look and see that there's somebody who looks like them in these positions, walking those halls, standing up in Parliament, sitting around that horseshoe, you know, when you're seeing your city councilors discuss things, when you have a school board. It's necessary. It's necessary to see us in positions of power, because that is what it is. So, you want to run. What do you need to know before you run? You have to stop and think. This is not ever going to be an easy path. It can be a very satisfying life. You can make a lot of difference in a lot of people's lives, but you have to be prepared and you have to be ready. What are your values? What are the things that are important to you? What is it that you want to change? What is it that you see that needs a different perspective from what you're seeing out there? Who is your support team? Because you cannot do this alone. Somebody was telling us today that her family just doesn't even blink when she said, I'm running. You need your family with you when you're going to run. My children, poor things, I'm a single mother with 2 daughters, twins, and I have a granddaughter who came on the campaign trail with me when she was 2. What a camera hog, but anyway. I could not have done it without them, because there are days when you're going to be exhausted and tired and vexed. Some days you're really vexed. And there isn't anybody else who's going to be able to talk to you and listen to you and be on your side, other than those who are your friends and your family. So, develop your team. Who is on your team? Who is going to come out with you when you're going to functions? Who is going to answer the phone? Who is going to send out emails and letters? Who is going to remind you to stay on track? Who is going to make sure that you get where you need to get? Who is going to hold your calendar? This is very important. You have to have a team around you. Now, I'm not saying you have to have 20 people. But if you have 3, 4, 5 people who will be with you, it's important. And you want it to be a multicultural team. And I say this in the nicest way. Sometimes we need the protection of somebody with a little less melanin than we have. We go into spaces that are hostile sometimes. Door knocking is a part of this job. You want to hear from people, you want to relate to people, you want to hear what they have to say, you want to introduce yourself. So you need to go out into public spaces, and some of these public spaces include knocking on people's front doors and saying, hi, my name is Marjorie, and I'm running for election. Some of these people don't have very good reactions. And some people will want to talk to you for half of the day. Usually it falls in between that, but you're going door to door and talking to people. Sometimes people are intimidated when multiple melanated people come to their door. They feel scared and unsure. So having someone who's not so melanated tends to reassure them. It also protects you. I can tell you personally that I have been going down a road door knocking with my flyer and talking to people, and as I'm going along, some people answer, some people don't, some people tell you to go away, some people wave without all 5 fingers, all manners of things. But then the police pull up. because somebody has called them to say that there's a black person facing the area. And so I showed them my flyer. They're like, carry on. So there are people out there who are not going to be friendly to you. And you cannot take it personal. You understand why I say you have to know your why. And you have to understand your values. And you have to understand how everybody has yours. And you have to hold in your mind at all times why I do this. I do this for the betterment of everyone. I do it for the betterment of my community in particular. And I do it because I want every little girl who's out there to look up and say, yeah, man, girls do that too. Black girls do that too. And if they can do it, I can do it. My greatest joy is going into elementary schools. Let me tell you, they have the hardest questions because they have no filter and they just want to know. They want to know why people are homeless. They want to know what happens in the hospital when their mommy or daddy went to hospital, and they want to understand why. And they want to know what you are going to do about it, because that will be your job. But then you watch when you have a discourse and discussion with them, the lights come on and they're like, oh. And then you end up having these wonderful conversations about communities, about what we can do together, what we can build together. And think about it. These are the building blocks of our community, of our cities, of our country. And the children have it right. But somehow, as we get older, we lose that community. My why is that I want community. I want to build community. I want a community where housing is a human right. I want a community where people are able to work for pay that allows them to pay rent and buy food and send their child to camp. And if I can achieve any of those goals, I will take the abuse. I will take the strange people that are out there. I will take them on. Because that's my why, and my why is very powerful. I need change. I need change. Every day I work with people who are suffering and struggling, and they're working. They're all working. They're working 80-hour, 90-hour hours a week, and cannot make their ends meet, and that needs to stop. And many of them are my community. But let's talk about my community. We're hearing what, 25% of people voted. How many people in my community actually went to vote? Yes, ma'am.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were asking the room.
Listen, man, you tell me. Tell me what you know.
No, I meant that I voted that year.
Well, thank you. Hey, listen, man, I know people who have lost the election by one vote. Every vote counts. But if 1% of my community voted, I would be shocked. Now that I have become known, but now that I am known, I have more people coming to talk to me about politics, talk to me about voting, and a couple of things have come to mind. A lot of our people don't understand the voting process. They don't know how to register. They don't know how do you even find out about people. I'm telling you, this organization here, Run for Office, is providing an important service to our community. Because we don't vote. In some cases, because we're just running, working, and you don't even lift your head up to even know there's an election going on. And that has to change. Our demographic in the region of Waterloo has begun to change. have a large, large population of Black and racialized folk who have moved to our region. We have a huge French population, Afro, Francophone, that are largely untouched because they are not receiving services in French, so they just kind of stay to themselves. We have large populations of immigrants and refugees who don't speak English or speak very little English, even though they've been here, some of them for 10, 15 years. And guess what? This year, a lot of them can vote. The question is, will they vote? And how do we help them vote? Because no, I'm not running in this election because I'm not a municipal person. Provincial is my jam. I like that kind of stuff. Policy just makes me sick. But municipal elections is so important. It is the one election, it's the one place where it actually impacts every single person who lives in this region. Because they control what happens to you where you live. They're the ones who have all the bylaws. If that stupid dog won't stop barking, guess who you're calling? If there's a problem with a building for lights, if somebody is doing something wrong, who do you call? It's not pie in the sky. It's not, oh, can I get a meeting with my MPP? And they're half of the time they're in Toronto and a couple days a week they're here in your community. No, these people are here every day. And their job is you. You are their job. And so I'm spending a lot of my time speaking with groups of people about voting, about why you need to vote in a municipal election, how important it is for you to know who is running, and how important it is to listen to what people have to say. I will never tell anybody how they're to vote. That is not my business. But my business is for them to learn how to vote, how to listen, and have discernment so that they can understand who is running, why they're running, and does it line up with what I want to see in my community. So, if you're going to run, buckle up and get ready. Know your why, because your why is important. It's what sustains you as you go through this process. It is not an easy process, but you know what? The end result can be so profound and make such an important work that if you really feel that you can make a difference, you should run. Talk to your family, whether it's your blood family or your chosen family or your acquired family. Talk to your family. Let them know what you want to do. Have a talk with them about your why and develop your team. You need a team. This is not a solo project. This is not something you do alone. So get your team together. Know your area. You're going to choose a ward, usually where you live. These are your neighbors. These are people who know you. Start with the ones that you know and work outside. Do your street first. Talk to everybody on your street. You're going to do a lot of talking. And you know, first week knocking on doors is very scary. They open the door and you're like, you almost don't even remember your own name. Trust me. But this will be your job. Your job will be speaking to people, to finding out what is going on in your community, what changes are needed, how you can help people. So here's the best beginning you can have. Knock on some doors. Don't go alone. Have your team with you. Have some multicultural people on your team. I know it sounds so strange to say that, but it's important. If you have ever done protest marches, which are very fun, but if you've ever done protest marches and you look, especially when it's large groups of black people, you'll find who I call the grandmas. They're all grandmas, you know, with the curly gray hair, little pudgy, walking along, and they circle people who they know will be targeted, because people will not break their line, because if you like hitting your mom, and they're not going to do that to them. And so the people in between them are safe. So it's a reality that we have to recognize, that sometimes we may come up against, but do not be disheartened. I think that our mission is important. Know your why. When you know your why, it will carry you through those times. So, have your why, have your team, start your door knocking. What about funds? Isn't that the fun part? Funds. You need flyers, you need signs. How do you do that? Start with your family. Move on to your friends. Talk to people when you knock on doors and go, oh, hey, how can I help? Wow. Now that you mention it. You can join our team and come door knocking with us. You can make phone calls for us. You can talk to people. You increase your team by talking to people. And sometimes they'll help you with the funding too. But, you know, be sensible about your funding. Don't overextend yourself. And yes, it's nice to have a lot of signs and a lot of flyers. But it's also nice to go out and talk to people. It's nice to go to the farmer's market and meet as many people as you can, or to go to community functions and speak to as many people as you can, or put up a sign or whatever about it is so people stop and talk to you. Get to know as many people as you can. You know, it's interesting, you can write a letter to your editor, get it published in a newspaper that gives your opinion on something. There's so many ways of putting yourself out into the public for people to notice and to hear you and to listen to you and see you. And that is the object. You want people to know who you are and what you stand for and what you want to fix and what you want to do and what you think people will want to know. So don't sweat the funding so much. And in your first time, honestly, the first time people don't know who you are, you might not have very much to work with. But I tell you, it might take 1 or 2 or even 3 times before you get elected. So be ready for the long run. We're playing the long game. We want to get people involved. We want to get people elected. We want true representation for our people. And that is my aim. Thank you.